Disclaimer, this is a topic that goes way deep in the depth I'm diving into in this video. This video is not a breakdown of Atlanta gang politics. In this video, my plan is to take an overall look at Day1 Lil Willie's life and legacy, commenting on what I feel could have led him into getting involved in street politics, and explaining how I feel Willie is the main artist who would push some of the biggest Atlanta drill stars to begin to do music. Examples of which being Baby Kia and Lil Tim. Add this on to the fact that bro has a clear love for music, and it paints a picture that bro is an overlooked Cleveland Ave prodigy. Thanks. I hope you enjoy. Day1 Lil Willie, who I'm going to refer to as Willie for the rest of this video, is an Atlanta drill pioneer who is one of the sole people responsible for artists like Baby Kia and Lil Tim getting into music and blowing up to be as big as they are now, as well as being a more sobering influence on almost all of his crew as he attempts to push them into more studio activities than street activities. This is the story of Cleveland Ave's overlooked visionary, Day1 Lil Willie. Originally born in the year 2006, Willie will be raised in the Cleveland Ave neighborhood of Southeast Atlanta, a neighborhood notorious for drugs, gang violence, and bloods, stretching as far back as the 90s. Though it wouldn't be all bad in this area, as it's also accredited with birthing trap music scene in the early 2000s, as well as having many artists coming out of there, so there's a lot of inspirations to look up to. Growing up in the Cleveland Ave area, a young Willie wouldn't be super well off, and given later lyrics of Willie's speaking on him and his stepdad getting into a fucking shootout against each other, it's safe to assume that his at-home life isn't the most stable. Almost as a result of this, Day1 Willie would spend a lot of his childhood outside with the neighborhood kids. He himself saying in interviews that while he tried to stay away from negative influences, he still witnessed shit happening damn near daily, and it did affect him, as it probably would any child of his age. Even when he was really young, he had an enterprising attitude, with Willie selling damn near everything from water bottles, a classic Atlanta hustle, all the way down to the cliche, making a lemonade stand. This might sound corny as fuck to most motherfuckers who listen to drill, but this wholesome upbringing and work ethic is something that I can respect, especially given bro's environment. It's not easy to be good when you're surrounded by bad. This environment did seep into some of his attitude, however, mostly in his academic career. Day1 Lil Willie is a self-professed class clown, and as such, he would stay in trouble at school, constantly getting ISS, or in-school suspensions, as well as just being kicked out of classes in general all the time. This would eventually lead Willie to being placed in alternative school in his last year. That same year, Willie would go on to drop out of school completely, him listing alternative school as the reason. He does say he wants to finish school at some point in his interviews, though that could be cap, you know how motherfuckers should be saying shit. How Day1 Willie got his stage name happened a bit earlier than all of this though. In around 2015, when Willie was around 9 or 10 years old, one of his friends would call him a Day1, basically saying that bro was loyal. Liking this title, Willie decided to add it to his already existing Lil Willie usernames on his social medias and his YouTube. Thus, Day1 Lil Willie was born. Gang relation wise, when Lil Willie would jump off the porch, he would seemingly become affiliated with the FMH crew, a gang that's tied in with the 1L set, and seeing that they're all from Cleveland Ave, and Willie claims to know some Billies, slang for blood, in his music, I assume that both FMH and 1L has a blood presence in their crews. I'm no Vlad TV though, so I'm gonna look no further and I'm gonna look away. All jokes aside, Day1 Lil Willie is one of the first of his generation of kids to start releasing music, with bro's first ever music video, the December 11th, 2020 song Bands, dropping when Willie and his crew are noticeably underage. Like none of them can be older than 13 to 15 years old in this video. While Willie had been posting music since 2019, I'm starting with this video because the track My Partner My Dog is still to this day sitting at 5 views. Maybe 6 now because I'm listening to it as I type. Both tracks being in the cookie cutter melodic Atlanta style. Not bad at all, but definitely within the realm of Atlanta music at the time. It wouldn't be until July 8th, 2022 that Willie would begin to dip his toe into drill type music. Before this point, bro mainly stuck to introspective, sappy tracks. The song and video for End of Field being drill focused would wind up causing this to be the first video to break 10,000 views quite easily. From this point on, maybe due to the success, Willie will begin to get a lot more consistent with his uploads, dropping track after track after track, all leading up to his first true breakout track. That song that would be his breakout track would happen to be the first collaboration of Willie's that he'd ever do, and possibly the first time that Lil Tim and Baby Kia would ever get on a track, at least together. That song being the May 21st, 2023 track, Fuck Your Grandma. This track having Baby Kia and Tim along with Willie led to it getting a wild 95,000 views, pushing all of their names in the underground conversation just a little bit. Not as mainstays just yet, but definitely pushing them through the door. This newfound viewership would stick with Willie as tracks like All Alone, Rip Traffic Ave, and Free BK would all get 44,000 views, 76,000 views, and 63,000 views respectively. These tracks arguably showing Willie's evolution and continued comfortability in doing the melodic drill shit, as his sound shifted into something that's way more akin to new wave Atlanta drill than his older shit. Around the same time, his beats would begin to match. All of the success and changing up of flows and beats would all lead up to one of my favorite Atlanta drill tracks, Point Blank, period. That track being the March 7th, 2024 song, Esco Livin'. The sample in this instrumental is heavenly. Add that onto the Atlanta drill bass patterns and sprinkle in bro's melodic flows, and this shit becomes a speeding anthem, especially when you're cruising at night. It seems that I'm not the only person who thinks so, because this track would be the first of Willie's to get a giant 465,000 views, it being the only solo track of his to reach that height view-wise. This era of Willie's music would be the peak of his career, especially when it comes to his collaborations, with tracks like Three-Headed Fox sampling Somebody I Used to Know, along with Lil Tim and BK getting 503,000 views just on that song individually. Then there's the video If I Die with Slime Life Shorty getting upwards of 211,000 views at the time of this recording. And then even the feature that Willie would do for BK's first music video in December 12th, 2023 track, BK's Back, and that would reach a whopping 5.9 million views. That shit was so high that it peaked my fucking mic. This era was easily bro's largest, collaboration and viewership wise. While Willie claims to try to stay away from beefs and everything the like, his record does not reflect this. For one, in 2024, he would both be robbed for his jewelry and also called out the 7-0 affiliate, Lil Ches, for being friendly when they met up. I guess the Robs. This would pale in comparison to the biggest thing that's happened to him in 2025, however, with the incident of Lil Tim getting into an argument with Lil Willie, only to then pull Blick on Willie instead of fighting or escalating the situation. Lil Willie even has snippets of him rapping about it, as well as Lil Tim. Lil Tim saying this was caused by undercover pressure happening within the FMH crew, bro basically going fuck all y'all and splitting away. Willie, BK, and all of them seemingly are still on good terms, given the most recent October 1st, 2025 track, Not a Bully, where Day1 Lil Willie would yet again collaborate with Baby Kia. Given that Day1 Lil Willie's viewership averages around 17,000 views a video, with him releasing multiple albums that aren't shaking shit, I feel as if Day1 Lil Willie will have a harder time than most of his peers breaking through to the mainstream by no fault of his own talent or dedication to his craft. Bro pushed all of his friends into music only to be eventually the weakest link when it comes to a fan base. One thing I can say for certain is, y'all are definitely sleeping on bro. Most of his music is fire and there's no sign of him stopping anytime soon. I'm personally hoping bro gets a spark and blows up bigger than anyone in the scene. I fuck with his projects a lot personally. Though if we being real, I think that hope is in vain. As always, if you like this video, be sure to like, comment who you're trying to see next, and subscribe with the bell to be notified of all my future uploads. Next week's video will most likely be a video on either Fat Mac from Alabama or Baby Stay Down, depending on comments and my mood. At 2,000 subscribers, I'm gonna be doing a Q&A live stream, so be sure to be there when it happens if y'all want to see that. As always, I appreciate all y'all. I wouldn't be nothing without y'all, for real, for real. With all that out the way, peace out, chill out.
For the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
They're doing their part.